Now on for a heartwarming tale. Fred, the Steam Fugitive.
Fred is an old steam tank engine. It's only a small engine, but still very strong for his age. Instead of being powered by diesel, oil, or electricity, which modern locomotives run on, Fred relies entirely on coal and water for his work. Soon, Fred could be 100 years old, but the chances of him seeing his century are fast diminishing, unless he can find a new home for himself. The future for Fred, where he is now, is very bleak indeed. All his old steam engine friends have long since gone to the scrapyard, leaving him the only steam engine left in the shed. He's only survived this long by working near a busy station, doing the jobs that the diesels didn't want to do. Even this work has now dwindled down to nearly nothing. Fred first knew things were getting grim when he heard the engine shed supervisor cancel the coal supplier. He became both sad and frightened, hiding in the darkest part of the engine shed, hoping to somehow escape the gaze of the supervisor. He knew that the scrapyard would cut him into pieces and melt him down as they had done to all his old friends. Why does nobody want me anymore? I can do the work. Is it because I'm so old? He cried to himself in the darkness. The two people he did love were his driver, Sid, and fireman, Wally. They were father and son, and had been very good to him over many years because deep down they thought the world about Fred. There was, however, Mr. Jenkins and his associate, Mr. Weasel, who hated Fred and couldn't wait to get him into the scrapyard where they worked. They pursued the destruction of Fred with a strange relish because he was the last number on their list. One fact that Jenkins and Weasel did not know, but Sid and Wally did, was that in times of drama, either happy or sad, Fred could talk. It had to be a strong situation, one way or another, but Fred could talk. The situation Fred faces now is perhaps the most desperate of his life. Something has to be said and done if he's to survive at all. The day of reckoning is very close by, and Fred knows it.
Sake, lad, I wish you wouldn't leave that blooming ash-rake when I keep tumbling over it.
You can see it all right, can't you?
You're so damned untidy, lad. I don't know what your mother would say if she was still living. God bless her. Heaven only knows.
I'll give Fred a good clean out, ready for steaming up there.
Yeah. We've not an our work scheduled today, but we'll keep him in good order. We might have some work tomorrow. I do hope so.
The engine shed supervisor walked down the tracks with a sullen expression on his face. He paused to look at the depleted coal stock. He moved on to enter the darkness of the shed. Sid and Wally paused in their work as he approached.
Good morning, Sid.
Morning.
I've come to have a word with you before we meet Jenkins and Weasel.
Oh, Lord. And then two coming down here again, bothering us.
I'm afraid so, and this time they really mean business. They know I can't delay them any longer.
They're just like a couple of bloody vultures!
Aye, actually, I suppose they'll tell us when Fred here has to go to the scrapyard. But the point is, will you two lads take him on his last trip? Now, I know it's not very pleasant for you, but...
Yes, Wally and I'll take him in, if that's what everybody wants.
That's very kind. Now, could you steam him up and take him onto the sidings and clean him up, because I'm sure Jenkins would love to see his prize in daylight. Oh, he'll be here about 11 o'clock, so I'll see you on the sidings when he gets here, okay?
Okay.
By the way, I've enrolled you for diesel training starting next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
So Sid and Wally prepared to steam up Fred. Wally lit the fire in his firebox while Sid went round with a big oil can and checked all the oil boxes of moving parts. Soon, Fred began to hiss and sizzle as the steam built up in his boiler. They eventually sat on the footplate to have a mug of tea each from the hot water in Fred's boiler. Please help me, Sid and Wally. I don't want to go for scrap.
How can we, Fred? You know it would have been good.
Somebody somewhere must want a steam engine like me.
We'd have you, Fred, but there's not a lot of room in our backyard. And you wouldn't be happy just stood there, would you?
I'm doomed. I know it.
Just hang on, old man. We'll see what transpires when Jenkins and Wheels have been. Come on. We'll take you down to the sidings.
I've dreaded this day.
We all are, Fred.
Sid eased the regulator. Fred gave a long, sighing hiss of steam as he moved off from the dim atmosphere of the engine shed and into the daylight. He'd become very grubby in the shed. As soon as they'd reached a quiet siding, they halted and both Sid and Wally set to work cleaning him up. In the past, this had always been a happy piece of work, Fred bubbling with delight as his paintwork began to gleam. But on this occasion, nobody spoke. Nobody wanted to speak. They'd barely finished cleaning Fred when Wally spotted Jenkins and Weasel heading their way.
Oh, Dad, here they come.
Well, just keep calm if you possibly can.
Well, here it is at last, Weasel. Item 1076 on our scrapping list. One clapped-out old tank engine.
1076. Yes, yes. One steam engine.
Yes, and long overdue for the scrapyard, may I add?
Very long overdue, Mr. Jenkins.
Have you met Wally and Sid?
Yes, I have seen them from time to time.
They've been driver and fireman of this engine for many years.
Yes, well, they won't be for much longer.
As you can see, gentlemen, Fred is in very good working order. Isn't there a chance someone could buy him rather than being scrapped? I mean, it seems such a waste.
Yes, you're right, Dad. I've heard tell that some rich people do buy steam engines to preserve them or something.
Yes, well, we have sold one or two engines. Mainline express locomotives, you understand, but this here is hardly the Flying Scotsman, is it?
Hardly the Flying Scotsman. Just junk, really.
Junk, is it? It ain't junk at all. I'll tell you what, it can pull just as much stuff as the new diesel unit. I'll show you what it can pull. Just you stand there. I'll show you.
Let's that, shall we?
Well, Sid, now, calm yourself, calm yourself. We're all aware how strong Fred is, but it's progress that's beaten him. Or so we are led to believe. Sid, be careful. You've went to Mr. Jenkins and Mr. Weasel.
Can't you control that lunatic? Look at his done to our clothing! Oh!
I can't see. My glasses are fogged and my list is soaking wet.
Let you make sure this thing gets to the scrapyard by tomorrow night at the very latest, you hear? Come on, Weasel, leave this madman, return to the yard. Oh, all the joy when I see this steaming out of rubbish in 1,000 pieces. Whoa! Whoa!
Jenkins and Weasel went away in a huff. Their clothing had now shrunk somewhat with Fred's steam cleaning service they just experienced. The supervisor grinned to Sid and Wally as they waddled away, still steaming slightly.
Oh, dear. Well, I don't suppose that has really helped, but I wouldn't have missed it for the world. Oh, Weasel's glasses in his blasted list. Oh, I don't know why I can really laugh.
I was only trying to...
I know. Anyway, look, I'll best get line clearance organised for you tomorrow for the scrapyard. You'll have to use the main line for about 12 miles. I'll see if I can sort it out for tomorrow evening, if I can. Report to my office on your way home.
Right.
Thank you. Okay.
Sid and Wally left Fred to have a meal at a nearby cafe. While they were gone, Fred contemplated his fate. To escape. Escape! That was it. Make a run for it. He got so excited thinking about it that by the time Sid and Wally returned, his whistle was positively bubbling noisily. Sid, Wally, I've got it.
What do you mean you've got it?
Escape. Let's all escape and find somewhere that wants us. We might find somewhere there's a chance.
Fred's right, Dad. Let's all clear up.
Hold on just a minute, We only get clearance down that main line for 12 mile up to that scrapyard. Then the point in that signal box will steer us into the yard. There is no way they'd let us get past.
Please, Dad. Let's try. Have a word with the signal man.
And wait till then. If we get past that yard, we're still at main line and it's busy. It always is.
Dad, there's another box a bit further down, leading on to that old disused branch line.
It's a good 5 miles down that line. And we'll have to see another signalman to get us off that main line onto a disused branch line. It's madness, really. We could have a crash. We could even lose our jobs.
I'd go really fast, Sid. If Wally kept me fired up, let's try.
Your idea of fast, Fred, is not like the fast of a mainline train, believe me. Anyway, I can see you two are keen. I'll make a few inquiries this evening, but no promises.
Sid and Wally took Fred back to the shed for the night. His last night in the shed. Sid left early to see the engine shed supervisor for details, but also to find out which two signalmen were working the two key boxes of their escape bid route. Wally trudged back into the shed as Fred's firebox slowly flickered to embers.
See you tomorrow, Fred. I've had a look at the coal store, and it's not good. But there's enough left to get us down the main line, past the scrapyard, and onto the branch line, with a bit of luck. I hope Dad comes up with some good news for us tomorrow. But it's exciting though, isn't it, Fred? See you in the late morning. Ta-ta.
Good night, Wally. Thanks. Darkness descended over the shed and sidings, while Fred slumbered in a fitful, apprehensive state. At the scrapyard, Jenkins and Weasel were also ready to finish their day and go home for the night in their ill-fitting clothes.
Well, tomorrow, Weasel. Round about this time, I should reckon. That's steaming elk.
Number 1076 on my list, Mr. Jenkins.
Precisely, Weasel. Number 1076 on our list. We'll be in the process of being boiled down for that order of manhole covers we've received.
Manhole covers? Oh, yes. We'll get a few manhole covers from that dreadful old engine.
Yes. Well, I must away, Weasel. Tomorrow will be a significant day for us in this yard. A long-awaited climax to our itinerary.
A long-awaited climax to our itinerary.
I just said that. Good night, sweet dreams.
Good night, Mr. Jenkins.
Sweet dreams.
Hey, it's great, Dad. I'm really pleased. We're nearly ready for off.
We're not going on as holidays.
It was just after lunchtime that Sid and Wally arrived at the engine shed armed with tea, sugar, milk, eggs, bacon and sausages, plus an overnight bag, each with underclothes, blankets and things like soap, toothbrush and comb. They stacked their things away, then began to steam up Fred.
Don't want you seizing up on our escape bid, do we, Fred?
I'm so grateful to you and Wally. Is there any news from the signalman?
Well, it's a new bloke down at that scrapyard junction, but I've had seen Jim, who's in the box further on. He thinks we're mad. He says there's a 125 due at 5 o'clock, but he'll help us if he can to get on that disused branch line, providing we don't hold up that 125.
125? What's that?
It's a very fast train, that's what it is.
Sounds like a number to me.
It is a number, Fred. It's the miles per hour it can do.
I've got a name and a number.
Yes, and you've also got a number on the scrapyard list, so be quiet.
When he was in full steam, they moved out of the shed and down to the coal and water supplies. Soon, Fred was loaded up with every scrap of coal left, and his tanks were up to the brim with water. The engine shed supervisor was busy in his office dealing with a phone call from Mr. Jenkins.
Yes, Jenkins. The order.
Yes, I have already told you, Mr. Jenkins, that they will leave the sidings here at 4:20 onto the main line. They should arrive at your place, 5 o'clock.
Is that as soon as you can manage? Weasel has the reception committee ready.
Yes, it is. Now, if you don't mind, I am very busy. Thank you. Good afternoon.
You have shut both doors at home, have you, Wally?
Yes, of course I have.
Did you cancel the milk?
Oh, heck, I've forgotten, Dad.
Oh, you forgot. You do worry me. We don't know when we're going to get back at all. And you forget to...
Oh, please don't row. I'm nervous enough as it is.
It's so stupid at times. If you've got our lights on, Wally, we'll go.
Yes, they're okay, Dad. All systems go.
Okay, let's go.
Fred, with Sid and Wally on the footplate, gently moved off. They passed the engine shed supervisor standing outside his office. He gazed at them passing and gave a gentle wave. They overran the points, which was the feed line from the sidings to the main line. Dusk was falling as they chuffed slowly up the feed line, halting at the signal which would clear them onto the main line.
Well, here we go, Fred.
Let's have some luck, Dad. Please, let's have some luck.
There was a clang as the signal changed to a beautiful green light. Fred's whistle gave an acknowledging toot to the signal. There was a powerful hiss of steam. Fred moved slowly off, built up speed over the points onto the main line. Then he chuffed bravely forward till his red backlight slowly disappeared in the night. The adventure was on.